Centre wing. Bad luck then to Richmond. Here's a chance. Broderick very good with the handball. On to Nash. Oh, clever little chip pass.
Richmond opened the season with a first-round Foster's Cup clash against St Kilda on a balmy February evening at Waverley. While the weather may not have been ideal for football, what unfolded was one of the most memorable chapters in Foster's Cup history. After the Saints threatened to blow the young Richmond side away in the first half, the Tigers fought back to go into the main change trailing by just 4 points.
He goes for a bounce. He can take it for another couple too, up towards the 50. Winmar peels off and approaches him. He drives it long and high. Richardson!
Here's Dundas trying to... No, it's Maxfield. Presses his way through the pack. Off the ground towards full forward. Again, Shanahan playing in front. Oh, smothered off the boot. That's good play by Herneman. Hand pass over the top. Richardson open goal. Another one of the Tigers. Great play. Here's a chance for Maxfield. He trapped that very, very well. Oh, beautiful hand pass over to Richardson again. A great team play again by the Tigers.
Harvey socks down. I think his older brother would be pretty pleased with the way he's going. Here go the Tigers again. Campbell going for a bounce. He's up to centre half forward. Nobody coming towards him. Another easy goal for Richardson. No, it's Gale this time. Well, the hand passing has set up goals.
Slight fumble allows the St Kilda players in, but it's Broderick to Dundas. Dundas an open goal, and Matty Dundas puts it through. Vidovic and Deere doing very, very well. Bond gets it to Maxfield. The racehorse is off. He's going to bomb it in long, in towards full forward, hoping for one of the high flyers. Gale couldn't mark. Chance for Richardson on the left foot. He puts it through. Another one to the Tigers. Can he thread this one through from the boundary line? Lockett, beautiful kicking style, kicks right through that ball. Oh, what a kick. Recruited from Fitzroy. Now, free. Reads it beautifully off the back. He can run another 40 metres if he wants to. He should keep going and run right in. Keep going, Tony Free. He races in. What's he doing? He sets sail for goal. It swings, and it's a mark for Richardson. Great play by the Tigers.
Turner's in the ruck now with Deere on the bench. Ballet dances his way past to Free. Kicked by Tony Free. This is 35 metres out. Winmar perhaps should have taken the mark. It comes off to Nash. His hand pass to Richardson. Another one. 6 goals to Richardson.
The second half saw the lead change continually. When Lockett booted his 5th late in the final term, the Saints led by 6 points. And a second-round berth beckoned.
How do you beat him? How do you beat this man? Good hand pass there. Hurried kick out of defence by Francis. Saints by 6 points. Under 2 minutes left. Knocked forward by Grant. Taken once again by Rogers. Another chance for the Tigers. Richardson on the 50. He's got men going past everywhere. He gives the pass off, and Herneman marks. 20 metres from goal, and a straight kick will level the scores, and we could have time on, or extra time here.
Wayne Herneman's mark and goal, with just over a minute remaining, levelled the scores at 14-12-96. Mass confusion reigned when the siren sounded. For the first time under modified night rules, the game would go into extra time.
And Shanahan, Dundas, oh, did it well, Matty Dundas, puts it goal. Oh, I think he's kicked this. Great goal.
But the Tigers didn't panic. Their defence was relentless, holding St Kilda scoreless to eventually run out 22-point winners. The star of the show was Matthew Richardson, who finished with 8 goals.
The Richmond player, Daffy. Oh, goal! That's a goal to Richmond. Richardson.
Well, it'll be some effort for St Kilda to get back from here. They have it in the middle, but it's a Richmond free kick to Tony Free. The Tigers lead by 14 points. St Kilda led by 4 at quarter time and by 4 at half time. Up towards full forward. A mark to Richardson. Well, this is for goal number 8. And it looks like being a match-winning performance at the moment. Distance, 45 metres. He's kicked it.
The St Kilda win set up another Monday night clash at Waverley with arch rivals Collingwood. 26,000 saw Collingwood hit the ground running, none more damaging than 1993 Norwich rising star Nathan Buckley. Buckley booted 2 fine goals as Collingwood piled on 9 in the first term. Go to the first change with a 52-point advantage.
Now, Hassel across side, they've got plenty. Oh, he's made a big mistake here as Knights hand pass to Edwards and Richmond score a goal.
Then, in a form reversal, Richmond lifted in the second term. But inaccuracies would prove costly. They finished the quarter kicking 3 goals 7. Went to the main change, still 34 points in arrears.
Play on, Richmond. With the chance, Broderick out wide. Knights swings around. Too far out to goal. Thumps it in towards full forward. Richardson gets underneath at front spot. Oh, great mark. That was outstanding. Edwards with a chance, attacking it very hard. Knights in the pocket. Running out of room, could kick a goal. Snaps, kicks the captain's goal to start the second half.
After a great goal in the third term, Matthew Knights hobbled from the ground with a strained lateral ligament. And from there, Collingwood ran away to a 49-point win and a place in the semi-final. Matthew Richardson again displayed promise with 4 goals, while Wayne Campbell and Tony Free battled hard throughout.
Richardson goes for goal, and I think he might get a free kick here.
Is it a goal? All clear?
It is a goal.
Good boy.
Yeah, they did have a big first quarter. I remember that one, actually. It was fairly hectic, torrid affair early. We weren't quite on the pace, I don't think, and we didn't have very many good players at all that evening, and you know, they were a bit too good for us on the night.
Richmond's first assignment for the 1994 home and away season was a tough one. A trip to the Western Oval at the best of times isn't easy, and Richmond was a new-look combination, with 8 players selected to play their first game in the yellow and black. The new side didn't gel early, with Footscray skipping away to a lead by 29 points at half-time. The second half was a vastly different story. Led by ace ball-getter Paul Broderick and Matthew Richardson, the Tigers fought back, kicking 13 goals to 7 in the second half. Richardson finished the game with 8, but it wasn't enough, and the Tigers went down in a thriller by just 2 points.
You know, we didn't play that well, I don't think, in the first half, especially a lot of the smaller guys around the ball. And, you know, we came home in a bit of a hurry, but just didn't quite get there. I think we lose by a couple of points, or a point, or something or other.
Had a lot of injuries too before that game. Quite a few players were brought back in, about 5, I think, that hadn't been able to play before.
Well, the play goes on. It's Michael Gale's kick up towards full forward. It's picked off by Francis. A quick kick by that player to the goal square. Richardson's got it. He's surely going to be too tall and too mobile for Scott McIver.
Brisbane may have been successful in their last run-in with the Tigers at Carrara in round 17 of 1993. But this time the venue was the MCG, and Richmond were confident they could break the club's losing streak of 11 matches.
That was from Rogers.
They did just that, leading at every change and claiming the 4 points in grand style, winning by 62 points.
Great kick! And a goal.
It's been marked by Bond. Bond is still in the defensive half of the ground for the Tigers. His kick goes in near the centre, and a terrific mark taken by Brendan Gale.
Brendan Gale filled the Tiger problem area of centre-half forward, pulling down 12 marks in a best-on-ground performance. Skipper Tony Free had 22 kicks, and former Woodville West Torrens utility Matthew Rogers made a big impression, kicking 4 goals.
He gets onto that left foot and kicks it in the Richardson direction. Punched away by McIver, but Richardson's recovery was brilliant, and he gets the goal in a second. He tries to gather it again, but Naish was terrific in that contest. Away to Maxfield. A very good kick by Maxfield. Taken by Campbell, and he kicks the goal. Fed clear by Broderick. Dion Scott gets the handball clear. Michael Gale is there for Richmond. A little bit difficult to get used to that. Usually Michael Gale for Fitzroy, but crossed over to the Tigers in the summer with 2 or 3 of his mates. There's Brendan Gale, the brother. Naish loves to run with a footy. Watch this. He'll give the handball off, will he? No, he'll go for goal, and he'll put it through for a goal.
Knights punches it back to midfield, almost as good as a kick. Now Elliott gives it over to Gale. Originally came from Broderick. Gale again, onto Campbell. Richardson at the back, yes! Great mark, he plays on. That was the wrong thing to do, they should still get a goal. They have, it was Rogers again who snapped it.
No mark taken, Gale is there. Those Richmond half-backs and full-backs have mopped up beautifully all day long and created attacks from defence. Kick off the ground by Free was good. Maxfield could run onto this. Goes into a goal, no, handball. But Rogers gets the goal. Terrific play, Tigers.
Third goal of Rogers. Best games I've seen him play. Oh, shocking kick. Oh, keep quiet. Give them a wrap. Here's Maxfield again. He'll kick a goal from there. Oh, terrific kick. That's a better kick. Scott at the back, couldn't take it. Oh, can he kick number 4? Rogers, he has. Oh, real goal sneak. I used that phrase in the third quarter.
Taken away for the Tigers again by Naish. Got the handball away to Campbell. Ooh. Campbell has the football on centre wing. A free kick, but the advantage is with the Tigers. And Richardson marks at the back of Champion.
Richardson again was on target, finishing with 7. Not only taking the youngster to 15 for the season, but also to the top of the goal-kicking table. One clear of Adelaide's Tony Modra.
5. Caught is Richardson. Got the handball away. Kick forward. Chopped off by Darryl White. Tried to kick it to his own advantage. In there is Naish. Handball. Maxfield, unselfish. Richardson could go in and get the goal anyway. Brilliant thinking. Brilliant.
You'd think that he looks like he's going to be most probably a centre-half forward. He likes the room. His last quarter at the end of the year was very, very dynamic. But I think he's going to be an outstanding player. He's naturally, everybody talks about his kicking, but an interesting stat was provided just recently that if you take the number of goals and points that he's kicked, his ratio isn't very much different to some of the people that we're revering that have kicked 100 goals.
Kick distance-wise, Heady waits at the back, comes to Turley, over the top, Matera, danger signs here for Richmond.
Round 3 saw Richmond receive a visit from the West Coast Eagles in front of 19,000 fans at the MCG. Richmond made no change to their lineup, going into the match in 4th place on the premiership ladder, and one of 9 sides, including the Eagles, with a 1-1 record.
Out comes Francis, uncontested. Promising young player, this guy. There's Richardson up ahead. Francis will kick from just outside the 50. Chance to level the scores. Good-looking effort. McIntosh goes back, can't reach it. Goal. But Gale is favoured by the kick. Almost the juggled mark. Could have almost been paid that one, I would have thought. Gale comes away with it nevertheless. Feeds it across to support. This is Broderick. Centering kick. Should have been better. It comes to Knights on the bounce. Did beautifully, Knights. Runs inside the 50. He'll kick this. Long kick. Good kick.
Richmond never looked threatening, as the Eagles did as they pleased, kicking 2015 to 5-9 to run out 96-point victors. Peter Sumich booted 5 for the winners, while for the Tigers it was hard to find a good player over 4 quarters. Although Chris Bond and Paul Broderick battled hard.
50 goes Goldwood. Is it another one for the West Coast Eagles? I think it is. Goal to Matera.
So seesawing between half-back and half-forward, and now Bullis, former South Australian, has the mark.
Well, kick from inside the centre square, goes long. Richardson going back with McIntosh, and it's a goal.
Broderick and Bond both had fantastic years as a whole, and you know, great leadership qualities as well, I think, which was important to the club, you know, early on in the season. We probably lacked that a little bit past seasons, and players like that who came from different clubs, you know, really added a spark in that leadership area, I think.
Dundas gets it away to Broderick. Broderick sweeping hand pass. Standing still there was Campbell. Kick into the pocket. Matthew Richardson trying to do something with it before he really gathered it. Then he gave the hand pass away to Knights. Knights, disciplined kick to the front of the square. Good play, Tigers.
The Tigers had won their last 3 encounters with the Swans by an average margin of 5 goals. So they headed to the SCG with high expectations. The press were left bewildered by the selection committee's decision to make no change to the lineup. It was embarrassed by the Eagles 6 days earlier.
Philandia goes for goal, and he's put it through. Peter Philandia happy.
Richmond got out to an early 3-goal lead, but the Swans fought back to go to the main change with a 12-point advantage.
Roderick, usually a very good kick, and this is no exception. It's a goal.
Big ball here for Sydney. Probably their last chance to score in the first half. Francis, well played, hurled them up, went back towards half forward. Maxfield thumps it on. Caven looked for a free kick. Richardson's left-hand handball okay. Chance here for Rogers, has got one. Jeez, Richmond 2 goals in the last minute of the first half. Waters, Wheeler. Oh, handball missing the mark. Elliott, handball to Broderick. Broderick sweeps one to Gale. Gale can go over the top. Does now, and Richardson gets his first for the night.
After trailing by 1 point at 3/4 time, the Tigers put in possibly their most disappointing quarter of the season to go down by 14 points.
Could you miss this? Oh, I think he may have got it.
West Coast are a very difficult side, but we didn't play well. You know, you expect at least to be competitive. But the Sydney game was seen as very important and one that we should win. And I think when you lose those sorts of games, then, you know, the disappointment does rise all around the club.
The following day, marketing consultant and former player Mal Brown launched a stinging attack on club committee members.
It's something that had been given a fair bit of thought, but after losing to the West Coast Eagles, which in the previous history, since they've been formed, I think our biggest loss was 53 points, I think. And that was a very down day because we did expect the board, the players, the coach, the members, with the recruits we'd got. Broderick was about the 3rd highest possession getter the year before for Fitzroy. Michael Gale was held in high regard. Deere was a player that we thought would give us someone we'd never had for a few years. Tapin particularly was a boy that had played in a grand final in South Australia and had good credentials. And then Rogers was a bit of a bonus. He came up quicker. And I think most people expected us to perform. And I just felt that it's very easy. Richmond had some 8 coaches in 14 years. It's very easy to blame the coach. It's very easy to blame the players, and they have to take the ultimate responsibility. But at the end of the day, the members of the Richmond Football Club had been worse performers than the players ever had been because they'd never had an election for some 8 years. So if you don't create change and people are there all a long period of time, and apathy comes in, and after that Eagles game we went upstairs and there were certain people that had been drinking and hadn't even come out after half time. Now I could understand that. If I'd been watching this for 6 or 8 years, I'd have been the same way. But I don't think that really did anything for demanding from our players and our coaches and our marketing managers and our general managers that this is an intolerable situation and you have to become accountable. And that's basically what was put out. You know, we were sitting here at board tables in this room talking about things like whether the staff had an extra day's holiday after Easter and you lost 40 members and they'd worked all Sunday, but we never really were talking about the issues of what are we going to do to make our players more accountable, our coaching staff more accountable, our football department, our marketing, our accounting. I mean, I just thought we were just wandering along as a wandering generality with no specific purpose, and we'd lost, in good Australian language, we'd lost a bit of shit in the system.
As a result, General Manager Cameron Schwab resigned, and in a boardroom reshuffle, 4 directors were sacked. But how did the boardroom activity affect the players?
I think it probably brought the players together. I mean, there's always an effect. I mean, it was all over the media, and you know that was the talk of the town through a period of a week or two. So players naturally talk together and get a feeling on what's happening. But I mean, I agree with Mel. I think it was, you know, the issue was kept fairly separate from the football department in a way, other than just naturally what the media does in terms of passing on information. But I really saw it as maybe a catalyst for self-assessment. I think everyone sort of sees, right, we've got a problem here, and they maybe look at themselves a little bit and try and work out, you know, what they can do to pick up their game. And I'm sure I did, and I assume that most other players did as well. So I think that was the important thing from a playing point of view, that, you know, what was happening at board level, it did sort of filter through, and obviously at board level there was a lot of self-assessment going on, and I think it did filter through to the players. I don't know if it was the total reason for us playing, you know, better football and being more successful, but it certainly, you know, had a part in it, I think.
So this man's a mean customer too. He's down there in cohorts. It's James Winmar. Did he take it? No. Broderick. Oh, Winmar's got a huge leap. Now here's Turner again. And did that clear the line?
More than 37,000 fans made the trip to Waverley Park to see the 12th place Tigers take on 14th place St Kilda in round 5. Richmond, after a week in the headlines, led at every change, running out comfortable winners by 42 points.
So here he comes, right on the boundary again. Oh, don't tell me he's done it again. What a great goal.
Paul Broderick again supplied good drive, and skipper Tony Free led by example. In an important day for the club, he booted 3.
Almost got there. Grant Gale's left-hand handball, a beauty. Maxwell will kick a goal. An excellent start for the Tigers. Awesome, good football there. Wakeland ripped off it by Gale. The other Gale comes in, Michael. Now Broderick, who's had a good match. Turner improvised quite cleverly, got it out wide. Chance for Howard. Got a bit of an opportunity now to go long to the goal square.
Well done, Frawley.
Getting back to Tony Free to an open goal, and it's another one.
Now, how will the umpires see that? He's calling play on. Probably a good decision in the end. The St Kilda player is
Gale
down there.
Peter Gale.
Richards, I'd say Gale is in the square. Now, Campbell to Knights. Matthew Knights, he loves to spin around, and he finds Rogers. Rogers will race onto the left foot. Brings it back in front of goal. It clears the pack. Here's Grant. He's shoved over. Now Tony Free. Onto the left foot goes Free. Oh, he's kicked a great goal.
Bailey had to take that, really. Knights, too slow. Took too long. Wakeland off the ground by Free. And a great mark by Richardson. No, Turner, who's already kicked 2. And Knights has hurt himself, I think. Is it his shoulder?
Shoulder.
Cheek? Shoulder by the look of it. Turner should be able to kick his 3rd goal, and he's put it through. Pretty handy effort by Turner. Let's hope Knights can recover.
He's fumbled a couple of marks, Bailey, that he should have held. He went without it then. Here's Free, getting it to the half-forward line. And he's down behind the play too. Now, Naish's on the ground. Chips it across. It's no mark. Shaw. Too slow. Oh, gee, they're making some mistakes. Round the corner goes Rogers. I think he's kicked the goal, Matthew Rogers. He has. Oh, look at that for a mark by Tate. A ripper across the front of the pack.
Great by a first year.
On to Howard. John Howard straight up the middle. A long raking kick. Frawley at the back. Richardson at the front. Oh, he actually dropped that in the end. He's been paid the mark.
Grant out to centre wing. Burke. Broderick's handball to Elliott. He struggled in this quarter. That's a better handball. Tony Free should kick his 3rd. Lines him up. Floats it through. It's another one. Oh, here's a chance for Broderick. Pickett's tackle wasn't quite strong enough. Maxwell will love this. Absolutely eat it up.
Howard's got the speed to go on with it. Well played by John Howard. And Howard chips it out to Elliott. Good play.
From centre wing, sweeps out the handball to Greg Deere. Lopes away as he so often does. Or goes for a bounce. Over the top, okay. To Daffy. Daffy from 60 metres out. Good looking kick for distance. Tony Free tries a one-hander. Benny Gale kicks his 2nd.
And John's message always was, you know, to leave the boardroom side out of the road and just concentrate on our footy, and obviously that's what he's going to say, and that's what I'm going to say to the players. But, you know, I think we did see it as a really big day and something very important to the club and very important, you know, to the members and to the board themselves and everyone involved in the club, that was a must-win situation, and the players played accordingly, I think.
Nation is, kicks it in towards half-forward. It goes over the top. The ball now in Fraser Brown's area. Good bump there by Maxfield. A chance now for Daffy. Daffy's kick. It's a goal to Richmond.
After a bye in round 6 and a convincing 41-point win against Fitzroy at the Optus Oval, Richmond played host to Carlton in front of 50,000 at the MCG.
And puts it through. Won't they love that?
With Stephen Kernahan in fine touch up forward, Carlton put pay to any hopes of a winning hat-trick for the Tigers, and they booted 7-3 to 1-3 in the opening term.
Is that a throw here? Hannah's handball to Mitchell. Mitchell's going to kick a goal. It's a beauty.
Richmond never recovered and finally went down by 28 points.
Free from Matthew Knight, goes for goal, and the captain's got it.
Brendan Gale was the shining light, finishing with 3.
Goes to Elliott. Elliott's kick goes straight down towards the goal face. Gathers by Richardson, gets the handball Naish. He'll mop this up. Chris Naish, goal Richmond. McKay goes back with the flight of the ball. Can't get rid of it. Naish was good in the contest. Richmond will get a goal. Mark it down. Chris Naish. It's kicked there by Brendan Gale.
Yeah, I mean, he's always promised plenty, Benny, and I mean, he'll be the first to say that he's been a little bit inconsistent over the past. And I still think he can improve, you know, a little bit more and become more and more consistent. Because, I mean, he's a fantastic leader, and he's a big fellow, a big, strong fellow, and you know, when he gets up there and takes a strong grab and lifts the teammates, it makes a real difference. And I think this year, yeah, he started to turn the corner and become a bit more consistent. But I still think, you know, that he's got plenty more to offer as well.
A high kick made for Barnes, just got underneath it a little bit. There was a whistle on play. The advantage is played to Richmond, and Rogers it is at half forward. This is their first shot at goal. It's curling around. It's coming back beautifully, and he slots it through. Great kick.
Richmond hadn't beaten Geelong in their last 5 clashes, and their round 9 encounter at Cardinia Park was no different.
Goal sneaky is, goes in close and kicks it.
Geelong were first out of the blocks, going to the first change with a 30-point lead.
Played once more. Couch kicks it. He's second. He's got it. Broderick. Maxfield. Back to Broderick. Here's Naish about 35 metres from goal. He settles, lines up, and boots his second. Scott goes from behind. Off hands. Ablett an opportunity. Ablett some magic here. Pulls it back. Oh, great goal.
Oh, that was not really to the advantage of his side. Richardson tries to get onto the right foot, does. Beautifully red kneeled. Almost could have gone on. Now he does. Kicks it goal. And what's the umpire say? I think he's got it. He has. Darcy gets back quickly. Now Richardson a chance. Richmond having the numbers down there. Gives it away quickly. This is Matty Dundas goes at goal. And he might have got that one through. I think he has. Or did it touch the post? No, it's all clear.
Though the Tigers managed to add 5 goals in the second quarter, the Cats ran away with it in the second half. Ablett was again the star with 8, taking his career tally against Richmond to 104.
Mensch chips it inside the 50. Ablett shielding his opponent from the ball.
So does Gary Ablett have the wood on Richmond?
He has. There's a couple of forwards that have had the wood over Richmond, though, in recent years. Jason Dunstall, I think, has kicked his ton as well. But, no, I mean, he's a fantastic player, isn't he? But I think, you know, what was the main problem that game, I think, was around midfield and just the ease in which the ball was delivered down to Gary. And I think we played Duncan Callaway on him that day, who does play extremely tight. And, you know, if someone wins a kick against Duncan, then, you know, the problem's probably elsewhere, really, because we know how good a defender he is. So I think we really assessed what was happening around midfield and on the flanks and tried to really tighten up and become more accountable in those areas after that game.
Campbell, rebound opportunity. Broderick did nicely. Hewitt went down. Broderick, Bond, Howard inside the 50. Goes long. It's not a bad effort. It's a good kick. It's a goal.
Following the bye in round 10, the Tigers ventured to Optus Oval to take on the reigning premiers.
With Richardson in the reserves. Kickers by Rogers. Is that a mark? Yes, it is. Naish. Heard. Deer from behind. Oh, great snap by Denham. Has got the goal.
Over the ball was McCurry, going nowhere. Cockatoo Collins out of the congestion.
Goal.
Has it bounced through? I think it has. Turner claims he touched it. No, says the goal umpire.
Still he goes. Bond kicks to half forward. Murphy couldn't quite get there. Gale, he's already kicked one goal from a strong mark. Snapshot, looks good and gets it. Great kick. Deer punches from Alessio. Nation Masiti. Nation's first to get there. Long hand pass. Let's see if Maxfield can finish this off. Gets onto his left foot. Turns around. That looks pretty good. It's better. It's coming back just a little bit too far. I think he's missed again. No, he hasn't missed again. It's a goal.
Deer down towards half forward. Out comes Murphy. And that's a good grab.
Yeah, that's a great grab.
He kicks from just inside the 50. Good looking effort. It's a goal.
First goal in the AFL. From a short run up to half forward. Snapshot for the Tigers by Justin Murphy. Has he kicked his third? He has.
18-year-old Justin Murphy was lively, keeping Richmond within contact until three-quarter time. In the last term, the Dons reproduced that premiership form, kicking 9 goals to run out victors by 46 points. Another comfortable win for the opposition, but for the Tigers, it was all a part of team development.
Watson's kick is good.
The players had a really good feeling after that game and knew that things were starting to happen, and that, you know, we were working on a formula of a style of game which we were trying to adhere to, and I think we did most of that game and played very well against last year's premiers. And it was only the last 10 minutes after Wanganeen's goal that they did, you know, kick on and win by a considerable margin. But from that point in time, I think history will show that we played very well, and you know, the style of game we were using was very good.
Good effort there by Maxfield. Handball away under pressure. Francis, and runs it out of play.
Oh, look out.
It's on.
Francis ducked into the fence.
With just 3 wins from 10 outings, Richmond went into their round 12 clash with Collingwood sitting in 12th position on the ladder. But still 3 games from 8th position occupied by the Magpies. 61,000 turned up at the MCG to see the traditional rivals do battle. And it was the Tigers who started best, sneaking away to a 4-goal lead at the main change.
Got back and delivered the hand pass to Shaw. Shaw in the middle of the ground. Kick was smothered off the boot. Rebounds now to James. James kick for goal. Maggies have got one.
Collingwood's done well here. They've got it about 40 metres further away from the goal. There's Tony Free's left footer. Naish and Hassel. Naish a beauty. He is a very good mark. Minute to go to quarter time. Naish from 30 metres out kicks a goal. 55 metres out. Rocker provides a lead. Moncourse then goes to the goal square. James Maxfield. Rocker, big fly, big grab. He's got it.
Broderick has a bit of a look and kicks it out near the wing. Well done by Bauer. Lovely little hand pass. Finds Matthew Knights doing some good running in towards the forward line, and the mark has been taken by Miranda. Miranda is at left half forward. He kicks in towards centre half forward. Excellent mark. Good jump. Well judged. And Rogers has taken it.
I know he's getting plenty of touches, but he's not covering the ground.
Well, important kick for Rogers personally, and it looks as though it's pretty good. To goal.
Well done by Gale. To Daffy. Daffy to the goal square. Mark to Murphy.
That's better. That's what we saw last week.
Sanderson. Handball. Bit slow. Turner's having a very good game. Free kick to Rogers, surely not paid, doesn't matter. Naish gets very good distance to half forward. Gale and Christian. Bouncing ball. Watson. Gale, can he knock it forward? Can he knock it on again? Neil. Daffy should kick a goal. He has.
Well, John Northey looking still as though it's great concerns. Brendan Gale just got his foot to it, enough to carry to Tony Free. Free's kick towards full foot. Richmond mark, Neil.
That was always going to be a problem for Collingwood because Neil's on a midget.
Murphy's too far out to score, but he'll certainly get it to within distance. No mark. Naish off the ground. It's going to roll through for a goal. Naish, well done.
Broderick with the bounce. He's 70 metres out. tries a long one. Krasiska, bad bounce. Gale gets rid of a couple. Chance now. Rogers is going to kick a goal. That's it. Shut the gate.
Tony Free and Paul Broderick were damaging with 28 possessions apiece as the Richmond side cut loose in the second half to run out winners by 64 points and restricting Collingwood to just 4 majors for the afternoon.
Forward again. Campbell's short kick. The mark has been taken by Neil once again. Can he keep the perfect record? Oh, gee, it's not a bad kick. It's a beautiful kick. It's a goal. The kick forward was by Marinda. Kerrison tackled by Bauer. Away goes Neil. Neil, the shot for goal. Goes across the face. Rogers. Oh, Bauer dropped it. Marinda's kicked the goal. You wouldn't believe it. If you had another look at that, you couldn't possibly believe it.
Yeah, I mean, that just lifted the club no end. I mean, old rivals, Collingwood against Richmond, you got a big crowd. You know, we probably didn't know how some of the younger guys would go again, you know, in front of such a large crowd with the pressure on and the spotlight on them. But everyone played very well, and you know, everyone was accountable, especially around midfield, I think, that day. And you know, it was a great win for us, wasn't it, Mal?
Fantastic.
Here's an opportunity for Rogers, about 60 metres out. Now gets back to about 52 metres out. Naish dropped it. Opportunity for Murphy, back to goal. Feeds it wide, taken by Bond. Bond goes from 30 and kicks a goal. You wouldn't read about it.
The MCG was the venue for round 13. Richmond, sitting in 10th place, took on 2nd place North Melbourne.
Marks in front. Surely North Melbourne's first goal.
26,000 braved blustery conditions and witnessed a goalless first quarter, only the 14th in the last 50 years.
The position to be with those hurried kicks out of the pack.
He kicks North first.
Towards the pocket it bounces. Schwartz tracking it down there. Clever hand pass. Sock it across by Campbell for a goal.
Campbell and Longmire are there. Campbell, can he make it 3? He does! Great snapshot! 4 unanswered goals from North.
As the kick goes towards the outer side, up goes Deere, it falls behind. This is Bond. Running it through half forward. Bond has a second bounce, looks up now, pulls it down towards full forward. Laidley will need to go, he can't get there in time, and Naish takes a very good grab in front.
Great courageous mark there from Chris Naish.
18 goals for the season. His best hauls have been 3 bags of 3 against Footscray, Fitzroy and Geelong. The Tigers get their second.
Following an even first half, the Tigers began to dominate the midfield. But despite having 10 scoring shots to 3 in the third quarter, inaccuracy plagued the forwards, and they went to the last change holding sway by 10 points.
Makes them pay the ultimate price. Great kick, great goal.
Crocker, he flew, so did about half a dozen others behind Campbell. Open goal, he gets his 4th. He sees Naish, he has to wait, and as a result, Mann gets back, takes the mark, plays on to Laidley.
Laidley has been quite effective in the third quarter. Terrific intercept. And the snapshot is there. It's a goal.
Storming up to meet the ball was King, couldn't control it. Howard tackled by King and slung. Maxfield runs onto the ball just inside the 50. Can go, sees Naish. Naish 20 metres out.
Great play by Maxfield. And Maxfield's been very good in this third quarter for the Tigers.
I think he heard he was clear because the crowd roared.
Naish gets his second.
With North Melbourne desperate to continue a 7-game streak, they threw everything at Richmond. But through desperation from Matthew Knights and the pacey Chris Bond, they managed to stem the tide to win by a slender 5 points.
The other one was worth 50. I think that one's worth 50 also.
Naish goes goalward, gets it.
Blakey from midfield, the former Fitzroy star, down towards full forward again. Oh, Gale missed what he should have taken. McKernan to Allison might make them pay. He does. That's a goal.
Like his game.
Well, the endeavour's been there. Let's see what Longmire can do. The former Coleman medalist. A left foot snap. Looks pretty good. He's got a goal. Oh. A goal would seal it for a very low-scoring affair here. Deere over the top. Couldn't get a decisive tap. Broderick takes it. Tackled by Stevens. Maxfield kicked a beautiful goal just before half-time. Centering kick. Goal this time. 85 25 career goals in 88 matches. So he's due for one to keep the average right. He hasn't scored today. In the gloom. Kicks and goals.
It was a real battle, that one. And I mean, yeah, I mean, you talk about each of these being important, but I think any win's important, isn't it? Especially, you know, the situation our club was in over the past few years. We just needed to rack them up, you know, as continuously as we could. But, yeah, Naish was good that day. Bondi was good. Bondi had a fantastic year, really. Often got the job of negating, you know, the opposition's best running player, and did it very effectively.
As the ball is in the middle, and it's Jim Steins who gets the first effective kick away down towards the half-forward line. Oh, Melbourne Lions going to run into an open goal in the first 20 seconds.
After 2 wins in a row against sides higher on the ladder, Richmond, sitting in 9th spot, met 11th placed Melbourne at the MCG.
Rogers, young recruit, wobbles it into goal. He's one of the best recruits this year.
In front of more than 32,000 fans, Melbourne got off to a good start, taking a 13-point lead at half-time.
The spoil. Tingay does the roaming work and has a snap. He's got it. What a goal. Thank you, Doc. From the throw-in. Bauer in trouble. Gets a hurried kick. Now there's little distance, but Gale takes the mark. There he is, directly in front.
Big hips, narrow shoulders.
Gale's kick. Brendan Gale. 1 kick, 1 goal.
Oh, it's terrific. This is a good game of footy.
Just on 6 minutes remaining. Love it. From centre wing. Here comes Jakovic. Almost taken high. Tingay tries to get clear. Sweeps a long hand pass. This should result in a goal to Melbourne. Running into the open goal. And there is a very handy one indeed for the Tigers, kicked by David Schwarz.
Gave Melbourne the ascendancy as Matthew Rogers. 3 late goals, in fact, as the kick will land up in the square. Richardson, yes! Did he hold it? Yes! The umpire has played it right in the square, and the youngster Matthew Richardson rose above the pack.
Not unlike Edwards.
Very similar. Richardson directly in front has kicked the goal.
For Yates to go over the top to Phoebe. He's in trouble, but he does it beautifully. That's Matthew Phoebe into half forward. And the D's are steadier now, as required by David Schwartz, who kicked one in the second quarter.
Oh, he could kick it from there.
Oh, he's going short.
Well, I suppose it was on.
104 goals in his career. He's now kicked 105.
Schwartz coming in too, but Steins takes front position. No one got the hit out. Oh, Broderick, good play by Paul Broderick. Weaves his way through that packet. Brings it towards Brendan Gale.
Yes.
No, he's got backup support. Hand pass to Rogers. Rogers breaks the tackle. Races into goal for a brilliant goal. Tigers in front.
Melbourne by 4 points.
Mike was playing at full forward, sorry.
In the Tigers attacking zone, they've got the opportunity here again. Knight, short little pass. In towards half forward, but no mark taken. Rhodes gets a hurried kick.
Now
straight back to Knight.
Favoured foot.
Long kick for goal. This for the lead for the Tigers. And they've got it.
In a seesawing affair, Richmond held the Demons goalless in the last quarter to emerge winners by 16 points.
Can anyone take a mark? Who's going to do the roving? Will it be socked up the ground by Rogers? One, do it, he's done it!
For the first time since 1986, Richmond had strung together 3 on the trot. First-year player Matthew Rogers was inspirational. He finished with 3.
Michael Gale too, running hard at the ball. Now a chance. Duffy from 50 metres. Nick Duffy. There it is, the sealer. Richmond at home.
Oh, the Duck has done it.
I didn't know much about Rogers before he came over, but he certainly came on quickly and really looked like a senior player, you know, from day one, really. And, you know, he's very quick and very athletic and fairly strong. And just, you know, the right mental approach. He doesn't like being beaten, and he's willing to listen and learn and do the right things. And he was, you know, very important to us all year.
It's quite balmy here, 16 degrees. It's been very cold winter so far in Adelaide and also Melbourne. McDermott's quick kick. Chance for Liptak. He really should kick this. He does. It's an ominous start. It's just what the Tigers did not want with the breeze behind them.
Round 15 saw the Tigers set with one of football's toughest tasks, the Adelaide Crows, at Football Park, in front of 43,000 screaming fans.
Out wide is Pittman. Look at him way up on centre wing. Brings at the half-forward, the mark taken by Rashudo. Where's Modra? He's ducking back. Oh, Modra and Turner. Modra. Miss it. Oh, it's a goal! Oh, you wouldn't believe it. Got to move it quickly. Richardson on the lead. Out wide is Naish. Thumped away from him. Here's a chance for the Tigers. Around the corner, in towards Rogers, a good mark. Normally a fairly accurate kick. Set shot. The Tigers need it. And that is a goal.
Modra, handball good. Brown back to the lead. Free kick play on call. Rashudo attacks it. Still play on. Handball a beauty to Maynard. Left foot the goal. Wobbles it through.
Determined to keep their winning streak running, Richmond set about turning a 17-point half-time deficit into a 9-point advantage after adding 6 goals in the third quarter.
Here's Maxfield onto the left foot, hooking it back in front of goal, and there he is again, little Chris Naish. He's a good little forward pocket rover. Well, this is a big start to Richmond. If he kicks this to start the third term, this will be his third. He's directly in front. Chris Naish, and he's put it through.
Richardson outside 50, goes short. Good kick for the first time in the match. It's a good kick. He's got it. Tigers in front. What a turnaround. 3 goals in 5 minutes. Stayed in the air a long time. Brown's little give to Anderson. Pays his way through the centre. Goes to centre half forward. Smart! A beauty! Daffy, Knights held on to, play on, still with Knights, left-hand handball, dropped by Daffy, handball by Broderick, free to go for goal, from 40 metres out, great kick, it's a goal! Scores a level again. Good mark, too easy in the end because Maxfield caught underneath it, well played hard, goes to Maynard, Maynard to Rashudo, excellent kick, Modra should take off, Rashudo will give him a chance, goes to Modra now, Modra one out, free kick against Turner. Bombs it in long. Gale sets himself. Well done again by Pittman. Who's roving? Maxwell on the left foot. Maxfield goes for goal and might have kicked it. He has got it.
Umpire calling the advantage. Here comes Maxfield with his booming long left foot kick. Richardson, a brilliant mark, the youngster. He's coming back in the form, and that's good play to get on with it and kick it in long in towards the square. Murphy back with the floater, is it a goal? A booming kick, Richardson, a goal! Matthew Cruiser, way out at half forward. A vital passage of play coming up towards Modra. Modra at the back. Here's a goal coming up to Rashudo. 6 points of difference.
In another close encounter, the midfield of Broderick, Bond, Knights and Maxfield combined to supply quality disposal to Brendan Gale across half forward and Matthew Richardson, who finished with 4 goals.
Gets up to 50 now. Takes his time. Drop putt. Good looking kick. He's got it.
Richmond made it 4 in a row, accounting for the Crows by just 7 points, moving into the 8 for the first time since round 7.
In front of the Richmond goal. Oh, it's a mark. It's a mark to deal. This could be the sealer. Well, a chance to make it 3 straight kicks they'll have to get from directly in front. Mark Neal's put it through for a goal.
You know, I remember during the week prior that Kevin Morris sat down, we went through the statistics and we knew that Adelaide normally fell away in the third quarter and we were within striking distance, and I think, you know, that just helped us along a bit, and that was definitely in the players' minds, and we were talking about that at half-time. And we came out after half-time and played very, very well and won the game, and I can tell you the players were exceptionally excited after that game. They really were. You know, to travel away, to win against Adelaide, and to go back to Melbourne knowing that you'd won more games than you've lost, you know, it's a fantastic effort.
Pressure by both defences, fantastic. Past Cameron came the hand pass from West. Look at the work.
as Free's kick goes across the face of goal. The bounce doesn't favour Richmond. The Dogs have the numbers, but they're caught. Cryer holding the ball, but the umpire says no, go on with it. Richardson may get a chance. He's got a teammate there, Ednell, who wobbles it into goal, and there's the first one for the Tigers.
Following a 2-point defeat at the hands of Footscray in the opening round of the season, Richmond went into the return clash at the MCG, not only keen to atone for that slender loss, motivated to keep riding the winning wave the club had enjoyed over the past month.
That is a goal. Croft way out at half-forward. That's good play to get on with it and bring it in towards Grigich. Grigich at the back is the flyer. Couple of bites. West. Handball. Collared up for his second. Oh, he's kicked this. Taken by Bauer. He's very, very quick. As Nathan Bauer towards the half-forward line. Over the back is Neil. That was good play. He sprints clear, kicks it long. Richardson in top position. And he goal! Accidental goal. Accidental goal. He dropped the mark. It hit his boot and it's rolled through for a goal.
Gale is there. Gets the hand pass away towards Bauer. The Tigers are on the prowl. Bauer's kick in towards Maxfield at half-forward and he takes them up.
This may go straight to the line.
No, Gale's in front again. Not paid. Free gets clear and he pumps it high and long towards full forward. It bounces through for a goal.
Into it at the back is Bond. Away he goes. Got a bit of room now, but he elects to take the kick, and it's effective as he finds Neil on the lead again. Suddenly things going with the Tigers. Neil plays on from 60 metres. He kicks it high. Oh, yes! Oh! One of the marks of the year from Nash. Can he finish it off? He can. And Richmond kick clear.
Gale around the corner. It was smothered off the boot. Umpire called play on. Desperation stakes at half-forward for the Tigers. Here's Knight. Gives it to Deere. Greg Deere from 30 metres. Oh, the big ruckman's goal!
He wants to give it to Cameron. He does. Beveridge is in trouble. Cameron heads for home with a long kick towards Wine, and he takes the mark. Cries for him to get it into the middle. He's a left footer as he gets it back again. In towards Richardson. Yes! Well, it will be. There's 11 points if they could go in with a 17-point margin. It's just going to make it that much tougher for Footscray in the second half. But he's got to kick it. 25 metres out, 45-degree angle. He has kicked it. Slightly off the side of the boot, in towards the centre it goes. The attempted mark was by Matthew Croft, but he couldn't get it cleanly. Knights didn't get a favourable bounce, but he's still got his runners surging it down to half-forward. Gale is the policeman. He gives it wide to Bauer. Bauer kicks towards goal. He makes no mistake.
The kick from Hawkins. He's normally a good kick. Will it clear the pack? It won't. They were still in play, in fact, is it? Or did it clear the line? They're still called play on by the umpire. All the players stopped. Now we see a step and goal by Osborne. I reckon they all stopped then. Yes, a goal. Fisted on. Here's a chance for Collingwood. He races into an open goal. Can he kick his third? He sprints onto the left foot and he slams it through. 3 goals to the half-forward.
53 metres out. A drop punt that's high into the square. Waiting down, Murphy. He's done it. They want a mark, they want a goal so desperately, and they may just get it here. Back towards Osborne, but it eludes him. Campbell's kick is short, it goes straight to Hunter. 46 metres out, Hunter's kick is goal. The Dogs are back in it.
Richmond led at every change, but were aided by some very inaccurate kicking by the Bulldogs, who finished the match kicking 12-22 to 14-13. Richmond making it 5 in a row, avenging for that one-kick round 1 loss by just 3 points. Brendan Gale again displayed the form that had thrust him under the watchful eye of opposition coaches, picking up 25 possessions and pulling down 12 marks, while Matthew Richardson was again the major contributor up forward with 4.
This to make it 2 goals the difference. And he does.
Here's the dangerous Cameron. Look at him. Dodging and weaving. Here's a chance. Racing in is Rowan Smith. He bobs it in long. Great goal. The Bulldogs 6 points behind.
Now it's turned over. Campbell.
Here come the Tigers. Up to half forward, no one home. Richardson over the top. Murphy back to Richardson. In towards goal. Bow and a goal to Maxfield.
I think that, you know, Matthew Richardson just got to be handled by his coach and grow up in his own way and just do enormous work like Dunstall did on his kicking to get to the top. And I don't think there's any doubt that he's got the potential to be an outstanding. I mean, you've never seen a better era of centre-half forwards all in the 1 year as in 1994. If you look at, you know, Carey, Swartz, Hurd, Brendan Gale, Taylor, you can just keep going on naming them. I mean, there's an unusual crop, and he's fit into that outstanding group.
Burke with the left knee protected, and Deere doing battle. It's Broderick who gets it away, taken with a high kick by Chris Bond. The Tigers go down towards Brendan Gale at half forward. Gale cleverly to Maxfield. Maxfield into the open goal for the Tigers, and there's the first one for the day.
Round 17 saw the Tigers head north to meet the Brisbane Bears at the Gabba, a hurdle that had tripped Collingwood, Essendon and North Melbourne in previous rounds.
It's now being tested with McLean across half-back, giving away ground to Buse. It's socket out of his hands towards Richardson, who's just 25 out. Richardson has a snap over the top and bounces it through. Now it used the body, then decided to leave it for Lees. Got a bit of time on centre wing, gets around Burke easily, but doesn't make the most of the kick. Pushing it up towards half-forward. They've got the numbers, though. Bow picks it up and pumps it high directly towards Richardson. Out in front, and a good one-grab mark is taken.
Gone for Richmond. Runs right up towards centre-half forward, then lobs it high. At the back, another good mark taken by Matthew Richardson over the top of Champion. And he plays on. The goal square is unattended. It's a goal. Another goal to Matthew Richardson.
Is inside with a hand pass to Scott. Chris Scott kicks towards half forward, towards the 50-metre line, and Leach quickly out of the blocks takes the mark. Waste no time as he spirals one up towards full forward, and that was better with Voss taking the mark.
There was only a kick in it at the main change before the Tigers added 6 goals in the third quarter to set up a comfortable 25-point break heading into the last term.
Maxfield and Gale are both there, picked up by Stewie Maxfield, kicks back towards half forward. The Tigers have Broderick on the loose there, and he goes with a long left foot kick in towards goal. An excellent kick by Broderick, a goal.
Here's an opportunity now for Bond. Sweeping hand pass over his head. Maxfield tackle, but the ball spills again for Bond. Gets it to Brendan Gale. Brendan Gale shoots towards goal, and great finishing work by the big man. It's a goal.
He plays on now, kicks up towards half forward. At the back, an opportunity. Oh, here's Hamilton. Takes the hand pass, 40 metres out. Shane Hamilton shoots for goal and puts it through.
Boundary throw in the half forward area there for Richmond. McAdam dragged down. It's Naish with the football. Naish is shot for goal. It looks pretty good. It's a goal.
With a right-handed spoil. He's wearing that left arm like a wing at the moment. McAdam does it beautifully, Gilbert. And
brilliant goal.
Look at him.
But the Bears weren't done with. They added the first 4 goals and looked to be handling the tropical conditions better than the young Tigers.
Lynch off the right foot, and Lynch's goal.
He's still got that crook shoulder.
Anyone's game, Robbo. Anyone's game at the moment.
Well done. Yep.
That was Clark. Troy Clark, we got the hand pass out down towards half forward. Now an opportunity for Voss, who picks it up. He's at half forward, puts them inside 50, and the pass is good, the mark is good, and Lynch, he could be a match winner here tonight. This for number 5, and the lead from 42 metres. The drop punt, he's dropped it.
They want to win the game, you've got to take a few punts.
Well done, Burke. There's a hand pass on.
Lambert to Troy Clark. It's going to come down towards Merritt territory now. Floats in towards half forward, but Campbell takes it.
Twice, Scott by Campbell.
Excellent mark. And he finds Daffy, who's away in the middle. This looks promising for the Tigers. Richardson on the lead. Nothing Champion could do there. This for the lead. They trail by 5 points. He kicks from 47 metres. It's a high drop punt. It looks pretty good. He's kicked a goal for the Tigers.
Kicks in the Richardson direction. It's got good penetration. Richardson can't take the mark. The ball rebounds to Knights. Knights Oh, what a beautiful kick by Knights. It's a goal.
Matthew Knights displayed some much-needed experience to steady the side, while Matthew Richardson was best of field with 5. As Richmond made it 6 in a row for the first time since 1980.
That was to Daly. Oh, Daly! What a duck! Oh, what a goal!
We were very lucky too because we copped, North with Carey out and things like that. But that over a 20-odd week season happens week in and previous years we still hadn't been able to come up. That's where I think Tony and John and Kevin Morris and Peter Swab and these guys did a terrific, Francis Burke did a terrific job in not only did they galvanise the players together, not only did they have a style of play, but they had a terrific spirit because a lot of the games in that period were in a situation that you could have as easily lost them as you did win them.
I mean, often those games came down to the last quarter or the last 15 minutes or the last 5 minutes where, one side or the other has to stand up and be counted and really try and put a lot of pressure on and do the right things. And fortunately enough for us, it was Richmond that was doing those things. And it did come back to the spirit and, how close we were and what we wanted to achieve. And that was a major part of, the success this year, I think.
Bullis towards half forward. Gale is there with Jakovic. The umpire collected by a running player. Meantime, free finds Richardson after the Gale mark.
Sitting in 5th position on the ladder, the Tigers headed across the Nullarbor to meet the West Coast Eagles, who sat a game clear ahead of Carlton at the top of the table.
Dominating at the present time, 5 marks for Gale. Wants to go on. Not much percentage in that, but a high kick inside the 50. This is Nation in front of the pack. Maxfield, a natural left footer, drops it quickly on the boots and puts it through for a goal.
Capacity crowd crammed into an under-renovation Subiaco Oval to see the Eagles stop Richmond's 6-game winning streak and record the club's 10th win in a row against the Tigers. After a promising start, the Tigers battled through to half-time, where they trailed by just 11 points.
Over the top to affect the spoil. Naish gets a hurry kick down towards full forward. McIntosh chanced his arm and Richardson will probably make him pay.
He's allowed Pike to go and get a few possessions of his own as Hines kicks it high towards the wing.
Hasn't that capped off a great day?
But the Eagles kicked away through Peter Simic, who finished the match with 6. Despite the grit and desperation of Duncan Kellaway in defence, it was West Coast by 48 points.
Down towards ball. Simic, he's going to get another goal as he runs in and gets his 6th. Well,
I mean, it's a tough task, I think, going over to Western Australia and playing the Eagles, especially over there. And, I mean, that's all we can really do from the 2 games, isn't it? Learn from it. Really, they were a better side on both occasions.
The other thing too, if you're picking a Victorian state side, how many Richmond players would you have had in it? If you picked the West Australian state side, you'd have 14, 17 Eagles players in that side. Now, I know there's 4 times the population in 3.5 or whatever in Melbourne, Victoria to West Australia, but you're talking, a complete different unit. We were still growing at this stage and still are.
Went in towards the middle. Maxfield a chance to pick it up for the Tigers. He pumps it long. Down towards Richardson at full forward. No mark taken. Rogers a snap for goal. The Tigers are away.
Following a month and a half of success, the second convincing Eagles loss for the season left a bitter taste in the youthful Tiger combination's mouths, and they weren't about to let Sydney do likewise.
Here's a snap at goal. That looks pretty good.
And it was out of bounds anyway.
Well, here's a check side. He bends it back pretty well, and a goal. Looks like a drowned rat. As he kicks to half forward, out comes Richardson. Rogers again. Around his body, he wobbles it over the line for his 3rd goal. Naish. Outside 50. The lead of Richardson ignored. Centering kick, Gale comes steaming across.
Beautiful lead there from Brendan Gale, and well done.
Brendan Gale. He's kicked 21 goals and 18 behinds this season. From 46 metres, he's put that straight through the middle. Finds Gale, up he goes to Knights. Danger here, Maxfield through the middle. You should goal, Stewart.
Dia goes straight down the middle. No mark taken. Working hard was Bond. Broderick off the ground has given it to Richardson. And Gracie, you can say goodnight to the folks.
Richmond led at every change to record a comfortable 33-point victory. The controversial Dermot Brereton finished his season, and the AFL tribunal dealt him a 7-match suspension after an incident resulting in a broken jaw to skipper Tony Free.
25 metres and no mistake. Terrific play by the Tigers.
I remember coming across from around the centre of the ground there somewhere, and I remember Michael Gale having the ball and being pursued by Dermy, probably 15 metres behind or something. I probably didn't think Dermy would catch him because Michael's fairly quick. But, you know, I was going to run over and shove it anyway. I thought that's probably the right thing to do, and that's what was expected of me. I remember Michael kicking the ball and realising that, you know, there wasn't any need for that big mad rush over there and a big bump, which I was going to do, and pretty much pulled out of contact. But what happened thereafter was fairly interesting. There was contact, and that was the ball game, really. I won't probably go into it too much further than that.
Richmond went into their round 20 clash with St Kilda at the MCG in 4th spot on the ladder. A game clear of eventual finalists Melbourne, Footscray, Hawthorn and Geelong. St Kilda started well with Tony Lockett on target, setting up a 3-goal break at the first change. Lockett finished with 6, but it wasn't enough as the Tigers recovered to win by a comfortable 32 points. Wayne Campbell was inspirational through the midfield, finishing with 3 goals, as did Chris Naish. But Matthew Knights and Paul Broderick were Richmond's best, both amassing over 25 possessions. With just 4 games remaining, the general perception was that Richmond needed to win 2 of the last 4 matches of the season to clinch a spot in the final 8. Round 21 saw Richmond, 4th on the ladder, play host to 7th-placed Hawthorn in front of 52,000 at the MCG. Dunstall and Hudson were both on target in the first half, as Hawthorn strolled to a 27-point advantage by half-time. Richmond battled on, creating fine opportunities through the midfield, but failed to make any headway due to inaccuracies. Wayne Herneman, the worst offender, with 2 goals 5. The Hawks victorious by 28 points.
I mean, you've got to hand it to Hawthorn. They just, although we might have had the ball a little bit more, you know, in the second half and pushed it forward a little bit more, they were just far more efficient. You know, they moved the ball forward very efficiently, got it to Dunstall, and, you know, and he normally kicks goals, and we weren't doing that. We were sort of scragging our way up to the forward line, missing opportunities, and the ball was getting swept out fairly easily.
He continued to be boring, didn't he, Dunstall?
He did, lead mark, kick goal.
Yeah, shocking. But that, I agree with Tony, that was the day, most probably the game that everybody was disappointed with, because even in the way we played, you'd expected to have won. I think there was 9 goals missed within a 45 kind of yard radius, and I think that was frustrating, knowing that we had these other really tough games to come. But that was the one that could have been, that, you know, well, that might have been the one that we let get away.
That went to Madden that time. They dig it out of the centre. Daffy boots it down to half forward. Rogers across to Richardson. What a start for both clubs. Blues lead by 4 points into a breeze. Opportunity now for Richardson. 60 metres out, Richardson. The kick not particularly good. It wobbles down. It bounces through.
Following a 10-goal drubbing of Fitzroy in round 22, Richmond, sitting in 5th place, needed to win one of the remaining 2 matches to secure a slice of the September action. 2nd place Carlton were the opponents and Optus Oval the venue. Carlton took control from the start with an 8-goal first term and never looked back, handing out a 113-point thrashing.
Gets it over the top to Mitchell. Quick hands, Koutafidis. Meters into clear. Gleeson runs into an open goal. Another one.
Fraser Brown booted 7 for Carlton, while for Richmond, Richardson finished with 4 of Richmond's 6. On top of the demoralising loss, Brendan Gale's fine season was over when he sustained a jaw injury.
Inside 50, this should be a goal. He kicks from 42 metres and he kicks a goal.
I don't think we're just beaten by a far better side. There's no on that particular day. They came off the blitzing they gave the Eagles a week before, and they had all the confidence and arrogance and that a good side that had, you know, and also they were at that stage on top of the AFL season. So I don't think anything happened other than they jumped us. They kicked about 8 goals into a strong breeze, and then it was very, very hard to get back into the game.
Murphy is there once more. Ball pushed towards Bond. A high, hurried kick. This is going to be close. It's a goal.
If Richmond could defeat Geelong at Optus Oval in the final round of the home and away season, the dream of a finals berth would become reality. Tony Free again showed courage, this time to return to the side after breaking his jaw just 27 days earlier.
Forward. Here's Murphy. Murphy onto his right foot. He must kick this. A lovely kick by Murphy's a goal.
Geelong started well in the first term, kicking 7. And with Billy Brownless kicking 8 goals from as many kicks, the Cats ran away to a 77-point win.
They don't come any quicker replies than that.
Hopes of any finals action were shattered when Melbourne defeated Sydney to secure a final 8 position.
Of the body by Turner, and he goes. Couch at the bottom. Couldn't take it cleanly. Tigers, if they can get a couple more, they've got 7.5 minutes. Knights. Good looking kick. There's one. Hinkley has taken the kick in. He goes short, but it's touched off the boot. Steve Hocking caught. Richmond a chance here. Matthew Knights. He won't miss this. It's a goal to the Tigers. Steve Hocking's caught. Again, the Richmond fans appeal for the free kick, but it's Matthew Richardson to gather the football. Kicks across his body. It's punched away. Daffy, can he score? Daffy can score a goal! Magnificent kick by Nick Daffy!
I think the immediate reaction was probably one of disappointment. I mean, amongst the players and the coaching staff, that we'd missed out. We'd had to rely on Sydney beating Melbourne the next day if we had any chance of slipping in. So the immediate reaction, I think, was disappointment, and that was the emotion, I think, for that evening. But when you, like sitting here now, and when you look back and reflect and be logical about the whole thing, and imagine if you were sort of setting goals at the start of the year, then I think the club would be fairly satisfied, realising that still, a lot, that we can do a lot better, and there's a lot more goals that we can achieve. But I think general satisfaction would be a fair enough word.
Yeah, the one thing you've got to remember, Matthew, he still finished 9th. So that means that 8 other sides are still ahead of us. And I think, maybe it might be a good thing that we didn't make the 8, because maybe we might have thought we'd half got there. I know that's a hard thing to say, but in 1 year we've come a long way. But I think, and I'd be interested to hear Tony's point, I think we've got to go nearly as far again if we want to beat and play off in a grand final like Geelong and the Eagles did. I think we've got a fair way to go in that area in all aspects of our club.
I think so, and especially when you look at the last 2 games where we didn't perform up to scratch, and we certainly didn't look like finals contenders in those 2 games. But I mean, I agree with Mel to a certain extent. It would have been great to slip into the finals and get a bit of experience, especially for any player, actually, because we haven't played in the finals for since any of the players have been around at the club. So I mean, it was experience for everyone. But there's certainly a great appetite there going into next season, and I'm sure that the boys are looking at that, and they know they've got to improve, and collectively, we all do. And we'll be putting in a huge pre-season, and we certainly have got a taste of what's required to make finals football, and and to be a valuable contributor in that. I mean, when I look back, I mean, it's all hypothetical. I mean, in a few years' time, but when I look back, from a playing perspective and from a team perspective, I'd like to think that '94 was the turning point. It was the year that we obtained a group of players who were very professional, very serious about what they were doing, plenty of hunger, and and a group of players that would go on and play in finals and ultimately win a premiership. I think that's, if I could look at an ideal situation, that's what it would be. And I think '94 has certainly promised a plenty.
Every time Richmond look as though they need something as a lifter, it's Knights. Can he kick his third goal? He gets inside, well inside 50. This will bring the house down if you don't line up fire. It's a goal to Matthew Knights.
Chips it to Long. Bond comes in, does it magnificently. Elliott couldn't control it. Douglas's little gift to Bond. Here's a go. Bond to Maxfield. Go and kick the goal, Stewie. Straighten it up, bang it home. It's a beauty. They're in front of Tigers. O'Donnell's now behind play. Here's Campbell through the centre. A little one to centre half. Well, they weren't looking at the Tigers. He gave it up. Hip and shoulder was okay. It goes forward. Nash is a great position. He surely will kick the goal. He has. They're back. Takes the little flip on. Around Horsfall. Goes a goal. Oh, he's kicked another one.
Almost took the football with him. Now McMahon had it and then lost it. A snap round the body by Daffy. Oh, there's another one. The Tigers are on fire.
The birth of a new football team is a tumultuous moment for all concerned, but the 26,000 at the MCG on April Fool's Day may have been looking in the wrong direction. The debut of the AFL's 16th team, the Fremantle Dockers, was overshadowed by the re-emergence of the Tigers as a power side. Not that you'd know it from this footage. Quoted at 33-1 for the premiership and 13th favourite for the flag, according to the National Sportsbook, the Tigers struggled against the possession game of the Dockers. Poor kicking saw Richmond kick 6 goals from 19 scoring shots to half-time, but the message was there for all to see.
Knights has got it right on the 50, falling to the ground. Not a bad hand pass to Daffy, and Daffy's snap is good.
Daffy kicked 3 goals. Campbell gathered 22 kicks. Matty Knights 13 hand passes. In the end, it was Richmond by a kick, but the statistically minded noted that it was Richmond's first opening round win since 1982. Into the side for the second round match at Waverley against St Kilda came David Burke, son of the 5-times premiership legend Francis Burke. But it would be another famous Tiger offspring who would star. Matty Richardson kicked 6 goals, and despite a goalless last term, Richmond won their second on end by 26 points. Only twice would Richmond be required to play at Waverley. In round 3, they were back, this time against Hawthorn in appalling conditions. On one of the wettest weekends of the year, the Tigers kicked 1 goal 11 until half-time, but thanks to the slippery conditions, were still in the game. Benny Gale kicked 2, Matty Richardson the other 2, and in the lowest scoring game of the year, Richmond made it 3 in a row, the margin 6 points. It was the first time in 16 meetings that the Tigers had triumphed over the Hawks, going back to 1985. Chairman of Selectors, Tony Jewell.
I think it meant a great deal to us. We hadn't beaten Hawthorn for a long time. I'm not quite sure the length of time, but we hadn't beaten Hawthorn for a lot of years. And we kept Dunstall down. Dunstall had kicked a lot of goals against us in previous occasions, and I think it was the first game against quality opposition that we'd proved ourselves. So I think it was, it really was an important milestone for us.
Suddenly, people were taking notice of Northie's young Tigers. On the Anzac Day round, the AFL scheduled 5 days of football, and for the first time, Monday night footy was a reality. 62,000 packed the MCG to see Richmond unleash a barrage of goals against North. 6 goals in 8 minutes, all but sewed up the points. Richmond kicked 9-2 in the first quarter. Daffy was just amazing.
Gale too tall, gets it to the front. Here they go again. Daffy's kicked his second goal. The Tigers have got 6. This is unbelievable.
Up forward, the targets were presenting themselves. The bigger, stronger Matthew Richardson making a real mark for himself. He'd kicked 4.
Well, 12 goals, 1 to date. You've given him a rack. Oh, he's kicked it. He has kicked it.
Alongside him, the towering Stewie Edwards. He too would kick 4 in a 49-point blitz.
Now, the charge is on. Edwards! Don't tell me he's kicked another one.
After 4 rounds, Richmond was in second position, unbeaten like ladder leaders Carlton.
Listen to that. That says it all.
Having beaten Hawthorn gave us that confidence to go up against North Melbourne, and we were well aware that it was a real test for us, and everyone was going to look at us and judge us on that performance. And again, we came through with flying colours, but I think that the Hawthorn was a catalyst for that win. I just think that they came off that Hawthorn game full of confidence.
A glance at the stats leaders gives an insight into Richmond's early season form. Matthew Richardson led the league in marks. Against Brisbane, he'd kicked 4 goals. Wayne Campbell was having a blinder. He was second only to Wayne Schwass in kicks. For the first time since 1942, Richmond won the first 5 games of a league season. This day, however, there would be a low light. Skipper Tony Free would injure his knee. He would face a knee reconstruction and miss the remainder of the season. The run continued against Collingwood, who were posting their worst start since 1942. Nearly 60,000 saw Richmond inspired by Matty Richardson. 10 marks, 18 kicks and 3 votes from the field umpires. The Tigers were on fire.
Richardson, the acrobat. Kelly is caught. The ball spills free. Hassel a chance. He handles it like greased lightning. Oh, Christensen smothered off the boot. This could result in a goal. Flicked round by Daffy. A very good kick by the Duck. Is a goal. How good is that?
6 straight, and that man Richardson in the news.
He's become one of the hottest properties in footy, and tomorrow we'll meet with prospective managers Ricky Nixon and the AFL's Craig Kelly. This year, after some goal-kicking tips from Michael Roach, Richardson has booted 21 goals 3.
I just used what Roachy said over the summer and just practiced a bit every night at training, and I suppose it's just come along. Also a bit of experience, I think.
Matthew Richardson is a beneficiary of perhaps the only sentiment left in football, the father-son rule. Alan Bull Richardson was an uncompromising ruck rover who played 102 games for the Tigers in the 60s. He wasn't fast or tall, but tough in the packs and quick with a handball.
It's Bull Richardson with what a great game this fellow's played tonight.
He's being coached by one of my best mates, Johnny Northey, and Johnny's doing a fantastic job with the team, and it really is good.
It meant a lot to me to play at Richmond. I always followed Richmond, and knowing that Dad had played here and looking through his old scrapbooks and that, I suppose, when I was young, it always gave me that spark to try and get over here.
And this week's Richmond record? Starting the season with 7 wins in a row for the first time since 1920.
A rainy Melbourne Friday night under lights. This time it would be Adelaide. Bullis came into the side to replace Deere, who'd injured his knee. It was a tight match, only a kick separating the teams at half-time. Richmond, though, by 14 points, Matty Knights taking the 3 Brownlow votes, and for the first time in 75 years, Richmond had opened with 7 wins in a row.
Everyone doubted us, and no doubt the opposition coaches would have tried to erase that feeling from their players' minds, but public opinion was so strong that we weren't quite good enough. It would have been a hard job, and I think it worked in our advantage, though.
If one man has caused Richmond heartache over recent years, then it's surely been Gary Ablett. In round 8, he was well held in the first half by Scotty Turner. In the second half, he exploded. 7 goals.
Ablett can't mark, but he might grab it. Oh, he's got it. Kicks a goal. Oh, he's kicked a miraculous goal for goal number 7, the champ.
65,000 were at the MCG for the blockbuster, a game that would perhaps give an indication as to Richmond's improvement. In 18 of the last 20 meetings, the Cats had been too good. This day, Richardson kicked 5 to take his season's tally to 27. The old worries about inaccurate kicking had disappeared. His 27 goals had come with only 3 behind. Chris Naish kicked 4, and with Stuart Maxfield gave the Tigers great drive.
Oh, well played by Maxfield. He's on the boundary line. Oh. He sprints in the goal. If he's kicked that, that is a great goal. Tremendous goal.
After a competitive first half, the Cats ran away in the second to record a 12-goals win and end the streak at 7. Coincidentally, Carlton had ended its streak at the unlikely hands of Sydney the night before. It was to Sydney and the home of the Giant Killers that Richmond ventured the next week. It would be one of the most telling games of the season. It was this incident that put a severe dent on Richmond's premiership aspirations. Matthew Richardson crashing into the fence and tearing his anterior cruciate ligament. As he left the field, it was worth noting that he'd taken 60 marks, 3rd in the competition, and kicked 27 goals to lie 5th on the goal-kicking tally. But more importantly for John Northey and his men, he was the classy focal point in attack. Stuart Wigney was playing for his 4th AFL club, but not even Premiership coach and chairman of the match committee, Tony Jewell, could have expected the quality of play he produced at centre-half back in 1995. He too was injured, an ankle, and he wouldn't reappear until the finals. On Brownlow night, he got some compensation with the 3 votes.
Especially when Richardson went down, we knew that was going to be a blow straight away, and being such a great player for us. But to get Wigney in the same game, I just thought, well, that your initial... Actually, when it happens during a game, you don't think about it. It's when after the game you really start to think about it. And I thought, well, those two... Because Wigney had been a key player too. And so it was a great effort to overcome those 2 losses. And credit to John Northey and the boys.
At 3/4 time, the Tigers trailed by 3 points. Again, Scott Turner had been given the big job on Tony Lockett. There would be no getting off the hook for Plugger. He was held at 2-1, his lowest haul for the year. In a brilliant final quarter, 23,000 saw Richmond kick 7-6 to 3-1. Again, Daffy would chip in. 4 goals. Young Edwards kicked 4. And for the first time since round 22, 1982, the Tigers went to the top of the ladder with their 8-1 record. The Sydney Cricket Ground Trust set about fixing the ground.
Richmond officials were incensed after the match and are blaming Richardson's injury on the closeness of the boundary line to the fence.
If it had happened at Waverley or at the MCG or any normal-sized ground, he'd probably be playing next week.
But the AFL have acted very quickly. They announced late today that the boundary line at the SCG will be brought in by 1 metre. But it's little consolation for Richardson, who's expected to be out of action for the remainder of the season.
For Matthew Richardson, his hopes of a magnificent season, already well underway, were in tatters.
Nobody needed to remind Matthew Richardson today that football can be a cruel game.
It's pretty hard, but I mean, the first few hours are the worst. I'm sort of starting to get over it a bit now.
The star forward crashed awkwardly early in the first quarter and had to be stretchered off the ground. But he knew as soon as he landed, his knee was seriously damaged.
As soon as I hit the ground, I knew that it wasn't just a jar. It felt pretty bad. I knew that I'd done something pretty major, I think.
Footscray on a Sunday at the MCG in round 10 provided Richmond with its 900th win. More importantly, its 9th win of the season. Again, there were injuries to blight the occasion. The Gale brothers were casualties. Deere broke his nose, but an 11-point half-time lead was converted into a 5-goal win thanks to the inspiring play of best of field Paul Broderick and Duncan Callaway.
He's been a fantastic pickup, very professional, very astute about the game, and he just worked so hard around the midfield area. He had a sensational year last year, and this year mightn't be quite the equal of last year, but still he's been very effective.
The banner said it all. Now we expect some respect. Richmond's match against the West Coast Eagles was scheduled for Optus Oval in round 11. After 10 successive losses to the reigning premiers in the 90s, a question mark definitely hung over Richmond. In a blistering first quarter, the Tigers kicked 5-6 to a goal and never looked back.
Inboard to the run of Maxfield. Maxfield kicks on the run. Oh, that is a gem.
A 60-point win would be Richmond's greatest margin over the men from the West. A record score. The drought had ended. With 10 wins from 11 games, Richmond was still on top.
No one gave us much credit, even up until that stage. We hadn't beaten the Eagles before, and so we knew that this was a game that we had to beat them. And the style of play was just fantastic. The amount of tackles and smothers and all that sort of thing. So it was good.
After a week for State of Origin duties, Richmond settled back into the premiership race. It looked like a pretty easy game. 15th place Fitzroy. How wrong that proved to be. At three-quarter time, Richmond trailed by 22 points. Naish would kick 5 and Daffy 3. And with seconds to go, the Tigers were a goal down. Then, one of the most controversial moments of the season. Jeff Bruce took the ball out. It was ruled deliberate. To veteran Doug Hawkins' fury. While the Hawk was penalised 50, Matty Knights popped through the clincher to keep the Tigers in top spot. The record, 11-1. After 4 weeks on top, co-MCG tenants Melbourne would knock the Tigers off their perch in round 13. A goal down at half-time, Richmond would lose by 11 points in front of 42,000.
The Tigers have been rolled for only the second time this season.
One of the biggest games of the year, 85,000 on a July Sunday, justified the move from Optus to the MCG for the clash against Carlton, the side that had again moved to the top of the table. Justin Madden celebrated his 300th game, in a game that lived up to its pre-match hype.
Next to kick the goal. The Tigers are back with a second goal. Well done, Maxfield.
Up by a goal at half-time, Richmond trailed by 2 points at the last change.
Enormous skill, gets onto the left boot, it rolls, it bounces, will it go through? Yes! Oh, great goal, Campbell!
But in the last term, the Blues moved away to win by 5 goals. A bitter blow for the Tigers would be the loss of Scott Turner. He was reported by field umpire Greg Scroop for striking Brett Ratton. He was suspended for 3 weeks, even though Scroop told the tribunal that he believed the action to have been accidental. Five days later, another huge test for the Tigers. 76,000 under lights at the MCG saw Essendon and Richmond produce arguably the game of the year.
Clear to Daffy. Daffy's snapshot. It'll clear the players. Has it been touched? I don't think so. The Tigers have got their second.
Off the ground by Long. Gets it to half forward. Prescott tackled by Hurd. Wanganeen Hurd. You back him. He is a gem.
Michael Long is the chaser. Bauer's little left foot kick. In front of Neal. Can control it. Chipping in Long. Handball. Mercedes caught. And blatantly caught. No free kick. Kick forward by Bauer. Into the pocket. Gatherers by Jurika. Just loses his footing, but able to get up quickly. Throws it onto his boot and scores the goal of the night so far.
Down by 5 points at quarter time, Richmond trailed by 2 goals at the long break. Only 2 points separated the teams at three-quarter time. It was one of the most controversial games of 1995. Richmond on the receiving end twice. Michael Gale had his collarbone dislocated in a clash with Peter Somerville. He clashed with Gavin Wanganeen, and that would be the subject of an AFL investigation. Wanganeen cleared of any wrongdoing.
Morgan's kick is a beauty. Gets O'Donnell. He was going to play on the Mercedes, called to play on. Chips it to Long. Bond comes in. Does it magnificently. Elliott couldn't control it. Dundas' little gift to Bond. Here's a go. Bond to Maxfield. Go and kick the goal, Stewie. Straighten it up. Bang it home. It's a beauty. They're in front, the Tigers.
Stuart Maxfield had his jaw broken. both Gale and Maxfield sidelined for weeks.
Doolan across the half-back line. A good kick. Essendon retained possession. The siren has sounded. And what a magnificent game of football. Ends in a draw. And a fair result. They have kicked 15-11 apiece. Essendon and Richmond. Look at Campbell, outstretched. The cramp on the Essendon player. And a drawn game, a fair result.
The end was dramatic. The 120th draw in AFL history. Essendon second for the season. And the looks on the faces of the players in the dressing room later told the story.
A camera Essendon have filming behind the goals captured the whole incident. Wanganeen attempts to shepherd off Gale, who then jumps up and fronts the former Brownlow medalist. They appear to push one another before Gale collapses in a heap. Wanganeen then becomes entangled with the Tigers' Matthew Rogers. The Bombers will also tell Martin Ahmad that the graze on Gale's forehead was caused by the players accidentally standing on his head while grappling. Essendon General Manager Roger Hampson, who viewed the tape today with football manager Danny Corcoran, is confident their man won't be charged.
I think it's really an Academy Award performance for he went down for so long. The videotape clearly shows that there's no substance whatsoever in the incident.
Meanwhile, Mr Ahmad has already met with Richmond's Michael Gale, Chris Bond and Matthew Rogers this afternoon at the Punt Road Oval. Have you learned anything that you didn't already know?
Oh, well, obviously I have, yeah. I've got the response from Richmond, and now it's up to Essendon to see what they say.
He will view the Essendon video and speak to Gavin Wanganeen later tonight before reporting back to the AFL tomorrow.
In 8 years, Richmond had never won in the West, and it looked as though the trend was going to continue against Fremantle in round 16. It was a bitter struggle all day.
Jericho races back. Gilbert went in hard. It's kicked forward for Richmond. It's bouncing by Tawney. Oh, great goal by Jason Tawney.
Down 4 points at the last change, the Tigers showed all their fighting spirit to roar home. None was finer for the yellow and black than Wayne Campbell. His 33 disposals had him unanimously best afield. The umpires strangely thought otherwise, ignoring him for nights in the Brownlow count.
Well played. Wayne Campbell, fantastic for a goal. Brilliant play by Campbell.
It was kind of different actually, because usually when you go to Perth, you're playing the Eagles, and so the feeling's always pretty down. So, you know, not nothing against Fremantle, but you know they had been below us on the ladder, whereas the Eagles usually are above us. So it was sort of fun to go to Perth this time.
From one of the gutsiest wins to one of the worst defeats. Optus Oval in round 17 saw Richmond pitted against the St Kilda side that was showing some late season form. A 45-point loss would relegate Richmond to third place. Under the MCG lights on a Friday night, Richmond accounted for Hawthorn for the second time in the season. Poor kicking for goal was again costly for the Tigers. 6-13 at half-time reflected that.
Inside half forward. Jurica's there with McGuinness. Could be a tough night for Scott McGuinness. Jurica, good effort! Oh, didn't miss by much.
The star for Richmond? Well, how about Scotty Turner, back after suspension? He kept Jason Dunstall goalless for only the 10th time in his 221-game career.
Now Matty Knights has it inside the 50. Back to the goal square. Jarman sits at the back. Off hands. It's a Richmond goal kicked by Rogers.
A key point for the Tigers was the form of Rogers. He kicked 4 in a 7-goal victory.
I don't think he's done that before. I don't think many fullbacks have actually done that, but it's amazing. You know, it's very hard on defenders when the side's not playing well, and when the midfield are very tight, and when we're pushing forward rather than the other side, it does make it a little bit easier on defenders. And I'm sure Scotty appreciates, you know, the side playing well. It just takes so much pressure off him.
Another Friday night game, this time against North, and with play like this from the Tigers, they soared to a 38-point lead in the third term. 51,000 were seeing Richmond at their very best.
The baseballer, Charles, inside 50. What a goal! It's hacked out of there by Richmond. Gale got a touch. It comes back to Brendan Gale. He knocks the ball on. That's the even performance. Campbell crashes through, gets it out wide. Daffy off the left. What a goal!
They also saw some of the most puzzling umpiring decisions of the season, some that plainly let North back into the game. Given just a whiff of victory, Carey lifted his ruse and Richmond fell short by 10 points.
I was really disappointed because we got to 38 points up, I think, and to lose from that position, you know, we had the whole weekend to stew over it pretty much because it was a Friday night game. It was just one of those things that, you know, you look back on and think, what if I had to kick this goal and things like that. So there was nothing much we could do about it.
Many teams felt the power of the Brisbane resurgence late in the year. Richmond was certainly on the end of a hiding. Despite 5 goals from Nick Daffy, the Tigers weren't in the game.
Good play by Daffy. Excellent football by Daffy. Onto the left foot, smothered off the boot. McLean is there. Oh, Jerica crashes his way through. That was excellent football. Daffy again on the right foot. He's a goal sneak. Nick Daffy has kicked it.
The margin, 77 points.
Looking right into the sun. And there's the siren on a red-letter day for the Brisbane Bears, where they've trounced Richmond by 77 points.
Meanwhile, Matty Richardson was overseas spreading the word.
How you going, kids? All right?
Bad knee or not, just one day off the plane from Australia, and Matthew Richardson is hard at training.
Get your arms, make sure they're really extended out. That's good work.
He's teaching these Chicago school kids about Australian rules. They know him already, have seen him on television, thanks to their gym teacher, Jeff Norris.
The Richmond club sent us a beautiful jersey from Mark.
Jeff introduced the game to his school 3 months ago. He was looking for something all the kids could play at once. In American football, they spend as much time on the bench as on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty surprised. A few of them have got a fair idea of how to mark a football. Good on you, girls. A few of them are a little bit rusty, but you can only just pass on a few hints to them and hopefully they'll get better.
Matthew says the biggest difference between the kids here and the ones back home, the Americans don't tell him what he did wrong last Saturday.
$70,000 arrived at the MCG for the round 21 clash with Collingwood, a vital one for both sides. Again, Richmond got the jump. Again, their wayward kicking in the blustery conditions proved costly.
Knights' little giveaway. Again, the Tigers charge the goal. Good kick.
Rogers to clean it up for the Tigers. Kicks wide and finds Bullis. Bullis has got plenty of time now. Elects to bounce too early. Runs around his opponent. Gives it off to the Tigers' running players. Deer. Back to Bullis again. Oh, good long handball to Daffy. Can they set something up now? Awkward kick for Charles. Oh, beautifully tapped to Maxfield. On his left boot. Has a ping and puts it through.
Knights has had a good quarter. To Kellaway. It must have been Prescott earlier. Kellaway's kick to centre half forward. A flows, a lovely take though by Broderick. Liked his game, Scotty. Brings it across. Here's an open slather here. Maxwell can really hurt them. Left foot goes, kicks it. That's a beauty, Stewie.
In a frenetic opening, the Tigers kicked 4-11 to 3 behinds. It may not have been the perfect start, but it knocked Collingwood off its game. A 54-point margin at the final siren underlined the strength of Richmond's midfielders. Campbell, Broderick and Knights were all outstanding and scooped the Brownlow votes.
Kelly in the kid. Bomb. Broderick's been fantastic. Wonderful handball. Go and kick a goal, Campbell. Look at that. That's champagne footy. Bombed away. That's it. Richmond will celebrate. Absolutely thrashed them, haven't they? 14 goals, 25 to 7-13, 109 to 55.
There's a few blustery conditions and we kicked very poorly early, but after that, before the game actually, we'd had a few doubters, so we needed a big strong win and there was a big crowd there and everything, and our midfield seemed to go very well. I think I got a few kicks for myself, and Matthew Knights did very well, and Paul Broderick, and it's just, you know, we've been teamed to do that all year, where one of us can pop up and have a good game.
The mix of the final 8 relied on so many combinations. For Richmond to finish third, it had to beat Adelaide under the Football Park lights and rely on Carlton to beat Essendon. Both objectives were achieved. In the city of churches, Richmond kicked away again with a first quarter that netted the Tigers 7-2.
The Crows get up. Campbell plucks it out of the air. Has he done a Gary Ablett? It's very, very close, that kick from Wayne Campbell. And he's done it.
Again, Campbell would be sensational. His game was enough to have the footy bookmakers install him as a 5-2 favourite from the Brownlow medal ahead of Carey and Craig Bradley. Campbell would finish the season with 367 kicks, third in the competition.
For Richmond, it's gone straight to him though, and he's kicked another one. That's 5 in a row.
Big Justin Charles kicked 3 vital goals.
And he's kicked 1 so far. Now they've got 6 straight.
One sour note was the incident that saw Duncan Callaway have his nose rearranged. He would be back for the first of the finals the following week.
Actually, looking at the video clips, it was pretty hard to pin it on anyone. It didn't really come up. He was pretty lucky, the bloke who did it. I mean, it was no doubt there was a contact there that wasn't particularly above board. But I mean, it didn't come up on video, and I think they did investigate it and couldn't pin the rap on someone. But you just got to wear those things.
Richmond's first final since the 1982 grand final saw them return to the MCG and meet Wayne Carey put his mark on the game. In 4 minutes, he'd restored the balance. Naish and Daffy were potent up forward, but you couldn't help but feel the absence of Matty Richardson. While North had 5 goal forwards in Longmire and Carey, North had to rely on their smaller crummers to kick the goals. Richmond's 5-goal loss put them in line for a second semi-final showdown against Essendon.
It was just purely us. We were a bit nervous and excited and all that sort of thing, and especially playing in a night game where we had to sit around all day. I think by the first quarter we played the game 3 times.
For the first time since 1944, Essendon met Richmond in a final, this time the second semi-final, and 88,000 packed the MCG to see one to remember. While Essendon jumped the Tigers early, the play of Matty Knights was inspirational. He'd kick 8 goals for the season. In half an hour, he kicked 3 of the best of his career.
Can he kick a goal? Matthew Knights! It's there! The Tigers have got there first.
9 touches, Denham. Fantastic goal. 3-3 to 1 goal. Knights from the centre with 1 bounce. Takes O'Connor on. Could he squeeze another one? Let's go. He's close. He's got it. Sensational.
That's his opponent, Denham.
You get hold of it in today's football, you really have to do as much as you can to keep hold of it. Struggle for possession around the middle of the ground. Gale, now Matthew Knights. Every time Richmond look as though they need something as a lifter, it's Knights. Can he kick his 4th, 3rd goal? He gets inside, well inside 50. This will bring the house down if you don't mind, umpire. It's a goal to Matthew Knights.
5 goals down at half-time, Richmond needed something to happen, and it surely did.
Contest in the pocket. Taken out of the air by Charles, is it? No, it's Turner.
Daffy at half-back. Kicks the ball to centre wing. Burke, set a quiet one. Broderick, normally good. Miss Maxfield, it was important. Now they cut it off. Turner gets it back. Maxfield out of sorts again. Alessio well played. Still well played. Prescott puts the tackle on him. Knights, handball didn't get very far. O'Donnell's down behind play. Here's Campbell through the centre. Little one to centre half. Well, they weren't looking, the Tigers. He gave it up. Hip and shoulder was okay. It goes forward. Naish is a great finisher. He surely will kick the goal. He has. They're back. They're back in business.
We'll wait for a report. He looks as though he may be all right. But, gee, that was a heavy knock. Greenvold misses it altogether. Kicked off the ground by Naish. He's been an important player. Turner back to Daffy. They get one here. Have a listen to this. Have a listen to this.
Scott Turner had been moved to the forward line. He clashed with Gary O'Donnell, who'd worn Wayne Campbell like a glove. Suddenly, Richmond looked alert and alive. Essendon could feel the game slipping away.
Marking contest. Naish, snapshot by Naish. He's coming around. It's a goal.
We're in front, Robbo.
A 5-0 third quarter inspired the Tigers. Up a point at the last change, they roared home.
How the dickens did Maxfield keep the ball in?
It was great effort by Charles too, just to go back and make the contest. He missed the mark. He was insistent in keeping the ball in the air, and that kick by Maxfield, as Robbo said, just outstanding.
Well, out of position was Bomber Thompson. He's kicking from 15 metres out. He makes no mistake. The Tiger fans are pretty happy about that.
Essendon has not kicked a goal in the second half. Remember, they didn't kick a goal in the last quarter last week. Charles to the goal square. In front, Rogers has got it. They trailed by 30 at half-time. They hit the front for the first time in the match, late in the third quarter. Rogers from 15 metres out lines them up and kicks a goal. They kicked 3 points from half-time, set shots from Salmon and Alessio. That's been their 3 scores since half-time.
Kick in by Bauer. Kick in was marked by Bauer, then to Campbell. Or Tate. Is he going to get a free kick? Yes. Just pushed out at the last minute. So everything happening now for Richmond. They're in front by 16 points. Kick by Tate will land 50 metres out. Good grab. The effervescent Charles. He's nearly 60 metres from goal, but he'll land it nearly in the square. Turner! Oh, he kicked it anyway. He got his left foot to it and kicked a goal. Scotty Turner's second goal.
Free kick against Essendon, and they've done it, the Tigers.
.37 in the last quarter sealed a 13-point victory, but the sight of John Northey waving his jacket and keeping a promise he'd made to his players that they could pull it off was what every Richmond supporter lapped up.
Richmond's popularity is growing by the day, not only with the Tigers' huge army of fans, but also with the media. Late this afternoon, the club took the unprecedented step of calling a special press conference, such as the demand for players and coach John Northey. And Super was still on cloud 9 following that miraculous win on Saturday.
Oh, look, you feel, you know, you're on drugs or something. You just walk on water or, you know, you just float across the ground. I was anyhow, and I felt very emotional about it myself.
The Tigers settled for a light run around the Fitzroy Gardens tonight, and the atmosphere at Punt Road is something else. Northey's enthusiasm is infectious amongst the players. And co-captain Matthew Knights has a simple message for Geelong: underestimate us and look out.
We're not here just to fill up the numbers. We want to take it the whole way if we can, and we'll start that by trying to do the job on Geelong this week.
The finals are an all-Victorian affair as the 4 cities prepare to follow their fortunes on Super Saturday. But it's Richmond which seems most excited, with the Tigers riding on a tide of enthusiasm, proving a merchandising bonanza.
My hat, got 3 posters, and a Richmond theme song.
On Bridge Road, hopes are the decorations will grow after Saturday. While it's a special time of the year for the fans who hope their season ends in a premiership, it also means a great deal to the men who are living legends of the game. Captain Blood Jack Dyer, Richmond premiership coach, and Geelong's last premiership coach, Bob Davis, got together on the eve of their team's clash.
And all we wish is, well, as far as because I'm a sportsman, that the best team wins.
I don't know. I hope I'm not a sportsman. I gave that up 20 years ago. That's sportsman business.
Persistent rain greeted the Tigers when they arrived at Waverley Park for their preliminary final against Geelong. The park was in lush condition. The running Richmond expected to fare well against the heavily backed Cats. Rogers kicked the first goal of the match, but from that moment on, the season quickly slipped away.
Wegney
up from half back, through the middle, surrounded by teammates, looping hand pass over the top. This is Bauer. He can run to the 50, needs a good finish. He settles from 45, kick is on the way. It's offline, still in play. Oh, Rogers, or was it Dafford?
In recent years, the Cats had averaged 72-point wins over Richmond, and so it would be this day. Ablett sealed the game by half-time with a couple of typical marks and goals.
He's lost none of the magic.
Nothing went right. Michael Gale collected brother Benny. Wayne Campbell missed the ball and collected Paul Couch. And the Cats collected a grand final berth, the margin 15 goals. It was, however, one of the club's more memorable seasons. A year in which Matty Richardson had his burgeoning career tragically halted by a knee reconstruction, the same fate that befell skipper Tony Free. It was a year in which the Tigers made the finals for the first time since 1982 and gave their huge band of supporters something to dream of over the long summer months. And in a fitting finale, John Northey was named AFL Players Association Coach of the Year. 24 hours after the grand final, Northey was back in the news. The word was that he was leaving Richmond to take up a job coaching the Brisbane Bears.
At a hastily arranged press conference late this afternoon, Richmond President Leon Daphne went on the attack.
John Northey broke his contract. He has walked out on the Richmond Football Club. And he can say that he had tears in his eyes today, and he can say that the players had tears in their eyes, but he has walked out on us.
Earlier today, an emotional Northey left Punt Road fighting back tears.
Yeah, bloody hard, actually. Yeah.
How are you feeling, mate? I mean, what's your reaction? Or can you... Senior players were informed of Northey's decision at what was supposed to be a secret meeting at the Hilton Hotel this morning.
We basically support John, and that we feel that there's good harmony at the club at the moment. We haven't had that for quite some time.
But Northey's demands for an extension of his contract beyond the end of next season and his request for a hefty pay rise were rejected by Richmond's power brokers.
Are you sad it's come to this? Yes, yep. Which I wasn't asking for too much. I don't think I was.
Since joining the Tigers in 1993, Northey has taken them from 14th to 3rd this year. But it's understood several key Richmond officials led a campaign to oust him as coach, while several key players didn't see eye to eye with him.
Those sorts of things don't help, let's say. You need special people in special positions that give you all the support you need.
But it's comments made exclusively to 7 Nightly News by Northey's longtime partner Pam Shearer that grabbed a lot of the attention again today. Outspoken Richmond identity Mal Brown launching a scathing attack.
I don't rate Pam on the behaviour in other areas very highly anyway.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I just don't think she conducts herself necessarily in the best interest of Richmond Football Club.
Nobody will stand up and check Brown. He's been a bully all his goddamn life. You can ask anybody in Perth.
A subcommittee headed up by Chairman of Selectors Tony Jewell will now search for a replacement, while Northey is expected to be announced as Brisbane coach tomorrow, in a deal rumoured to be worth close to $1 million over